Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on!
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Walk on Wednesday. Walk on Wednesday is when we invite one of our listeners on who we think is doing something cool with their life or just wants to share their story, and we talk to them for 5 or 10 minutes before we get into the podcast. And happy Nrisimha Chaturdashi, which is the appearance of Lord Nrisimhadev, and we're in that section of the Bhagavatam talking about Lord Nrisimhadev, so it's a very special time for the Wisdom of the Sages people. And before we bring on our guest today, good morning, Kastuba. How are you?
Oh, I'm just celebrating the day, Raghunath.
Me too. We had a wonderful little puja today. I decorated I should bring my Sheila over here. Decorated one of my Sheilas to look like Lord Nrisimhadev today. And then we have a Lakshmi Nrisimhadev that we worship as well. And Mara, any announcements of what's going on today?
Yeah, we have some Bhakti recovery group meetings today at 1 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. And we are gearing up for the Wisdom of the Sages retreat this weekend. If you missed it, we do another one in the fall. And as well as we are closing out our Italy retreat. If you're thinking about going to Italy, if you're sitting on the fence, you've been sitting much too long. We're going to Italy in June, very soon. So go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. And also we're going to be in Rath Yatra in LA. So if you want, we're having a little Wisdom of the Sages retreat in LA. If you've never been to the LA Rath Yatra, it's quite spectacular. LA and New York are my favorite outside of India. And it's just something about walking down Venice Beach in Santa Monica, and it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Flowers are going. The devotees are singing.
Westboro Baptist
the
Church
Christians
is out
are
there.
screaming at us. It's all part of the nectar, the rasa. And it's a big festival at Venice Beach. So if you'd like to join us there, we're going to do it at Kumi's studio in Veda Yoga. Do we have signups for this on our website, or you got to go to Kumi's?
No, I think it's on our website, on
Okay.
wisdomofthesages.com/events.
Oh.
And that's August 2nd through 4th.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to say is Bobby Marchand is doing a women's, sort of like a women's retreat up here at the farm, and where she's doing a lot of cooking. Like, so you go through different recipes, or she's doing yin yoga. It's looking like a cool, interesting thing. If you're interested in that, what is it? How are we advertising that? We're not
Trying
sure
to
yet.
ask how what you were going to
We're not
say.
sure yet. We'll bring her on the show for one of these Walk on Wednesdays.
Yeah, you can email us in the meantime, and I'll forward it to Bobby.
There you go. So without any further ado, Ravino, welcome back to the show. We've had you. When was the last time we've had you? It was like during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it was, which was now like nearly 3 years ago, which is hard to believe, isn't it?
It's hard to believe. That's where we sort of first, I met a lot of people during that pandemic. People were reaching out to us. We had a podcast. We weren't planning for a pandemic. That was other people might have had the pandemic, but we didn't. We didn't know about it. But that being said, that's when we first connected, and you were working on your film. Your film was coming out, and it was available only online. Ravenel is a filmmaker from England, north of London, and he and his team have this incredible film. You want to share a little bit about it? And now it's going to be out in New York for a screening.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on. Hi to everyone. I couldn't help. I live in the UK, but I'm actually Irish, so I couldn't help noticing Mike Myers from Ireland getting a shout out there,
Yeah.
and also Road Rage. What a cool name. So
These are our Zoomers that he's speaking to, who we've all said hello to before the show
yeah,
started.
yes. Great to see so many of you online. So yeah, we released the film in 2021 online because of the pandemic. It was called A Road to Vrindavan because it sort of culminates. It's an 1,800 kilometer tuk-tuk trip. So any of you who've been to India or seen, footage of India, you see these three-wheel auto rickshaws. So a group of us actually drove these rickshaws from Mumbai all the way down the west coast of India to Kanyakumari at the very tip of India, where you can see the three different oceans. And then we went to Vrindavan, where there's this
Wait.
school for girls.
Did I miss that? You started in Mumbai, went south, and then went all the way back up to North India?
Oh, sorry. I must say, yeah. No, we flew.
Okay, all right.
So we
thank
flew
you.
from Kanyakumari to Vrindavan. Yeah, the drive
I was
was
like, Mumbai to Kanyakumari, that's a trip. Going back to
Yeah.
Vrindavan, that's a whole nother trip.
that would be yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, we flew to Vrindavan, and there's a school there called the Sandipani Muni's school in Vrindavan, and it's specifically for girls. And so the film started out just being about the trip and trying to understand this reason that why do girls in India often not get supported to continue with their education. Well, sometimes they start at all, but if they do start, often at puberty, it's stopped. And there are many reasons which are sort of shared in the film. We wanted to speak to people on the ground so that we're not just making our assumptions from the headlines or whatever we hear in the West, but actually from people on the ground. Something happened when I came back and I started editing the film. Somebody challenged me as a man and said, why would you as a man be interested in this? Surely this is just a women's issue, which got me thinking a bit more deeply about it. And I reached out to people around the world, including Shika Ubroi, who was India's #1 professional tennis player. And she features in the film as well. So I went back to India for another whole month. And this time I wanted to look at how do men play into this whole scenario, and do they have a role to play in trying to change things and so on. We spoke to fathers, brothers, a much broader range of people to see how could this change. And Shika said a very powerful line to me. I interviewed her actually in New York in Central Park, and she said, you can actually empower somebody into isolation. Now, that sounds a bit strange, but if you take a person, a young girl from a very rural location, and you educate her, which on the face of it seems like a great thing, right? And then she opens up her hopes and dreams and her aspirations and what her idea of her life might be like. But she's still stuck in a rural place, which doesn't necessarily share that sort of understanding of the world. And also, in terms of marriage, typically they will want to try and marry her to a boy who is more educated or somehow positioned more in their eyes in a superior position to her. And so now it becomes very difficult for her. So in a way, so that's that
In
idea.
other words, that there's no men that are more educated than her now. So the pool of
she's almost in a worse
potential.
position, potentially, you could argue, from one perspective.
Interesting.
So my whole thesis then was, if we want to offer more opportunities for girls, then we need to look at the whole society, and how do we also encourage men and the broader community to learn more about these things, so that it's not thinking that it's a simple solution, just educate the girl, that kind of thing. So yeah, and then we in the last sort of 6 months, we've started putting the film into festivals again, and getting good film festival selections, winning some awards. And one of them is in New York in Saturday, 22nd of June, which is coming up in about a month.
Wow, the 22nd of June. Now, the Wisdom of the Sages retreat is happening, so we're not going to be there, which I'm a little sad about, because I really want to.
That's after the retreat.
I know, but I'm still in Europe. Are you back?
You're still in Europe.
I'm still in Europe. Yeah,
I'll be back.
Okay.
I'd love to see you there, Kishtuba, if you could make it.
Where now, is it part of a film festival?
Yeah, so it's part of a film festival called Her Vision International Film Festival. It's going to be at a venue called Slate, which is in Manhattan. I think it's a kind of a cool kind of venue where they have all kinds of, it's quite quirky. They have kind of like slides and all kinds of different things, but they have one big room, which is like has a big screen, and it's got screens all around, and I think it can hold about 200 people. So we're flying over, myself and my producer Ravin, and we're going to do a Q&A afterwards as well. So if people would like to check it out and come, we'd love to say hello to you and see you there.
Great.
I'll pop in just now in the chat a little bit about it, and there's like a link and stuff to get some tickets if you'd like to come.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's something that's interesting. What I've found we've just done some sold out shows in Birmingham and Dublin and Ireland, and done Q&As afterwards, and it's really nice to see it on the big screen and also to hear people's real-time responses. Like something special happens when it's live, you know, because you kind of get that interaction. And I think one of the things that's lovely is the universality of it, even though the topics are on screen or in India, but actually, you know, many of these issues between gender stereotypes and stuff, and particularly sometimes when we're looking at traditionalism, there are things that, you know, maybe we're navigating in our own lives in different ways too, wherever we are.
That is
I
beautiful.
remember and really appreciating the film and how it illustrates through one issue, just like a broader principle that we were, Raghunath, this is something that we were dealing with maybe one or two Q&A episodes ago, where there's like the culture and the Vedic culture, you know, it has a purpose and it's meant to serve a purpose, but it's not the goal. The goal is bhakti. And sometimes the culture assists that, and sometimes just with changing times and circumstances and applications or misapplications of it can actually work against it.
Mhm.
And I think what was really illustrated well in that film was the need for a tradition to constantly be reassessing if we're achieving the goal, if we're and if our attempts to apply cultural norms, or cultural structures are to examine whether they're helping or hurting. Sometimes we just get caught up in saying this is the way it's supposed to be done. This is the way it has always been done. And if we're not careful, those can work against us and could bring a lot of suffering. And so
Well
the film
put,
was really
Kostuba. Well
perfect.
put.
Thank you.
Well,
I remember actually at the time, Christopher, you kind of used a phrase which was brilliant. It was something along the lines of like, when tradition and culture principles that were originally maybe used to uplift and support and lift people up, sometimes later on, if not adjusted, can oppress people.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, powerful.
that was brilliant, Kostuba. Robbie, did I say anything brilliant? I'm curious if I said anything
Your
brilliant. Maybe
your
that you
energy
would
is brilliant,
remember.
Raghunath.
Everything you say is
Your
brilliant.
support and encouragement was brilliant.
All right. Well, we want to thank you, Robbie. Is there any way to see it if we can't go on the 22nd, or we got
There
to
will
just?
be, but I'm kind of just doing this run of
Okay.
real-time screenings first, and then
The name
there's
of
a
the film
website.
has changed now, right?
Yes. So it was called Road to Vrindavan, and then when we started then speaking to distributors and stuff, we chose the name "A Girl Can Touch the Sky," which is actually a line that one of the girls in the film says. I was asking the group of girls, "What do you want to be?" And one of them says she wants to be a policewoman. She wants to arrest people who force girls to get married, you know, when they're really young. Another one said, "I want to be an astronaut." And I said, "Where do you want to go?" And she goes, "To the moon." And then she said, "Yes, a girl can touch the sky. A girl can do anything." So it's just a line from the film, and I think it kind of maybe says a bit more on the tin, like gives you a better idea of what it's about straight away.
I love it. I love it. I love the title. It's great. So we're going to promote it. It's going to happen the 22nd. We encourage everybody to go in our community, support it, spread the word about it. And also we're going to leave the details in the show notes.
Thank you very much.
Even if they're not here. Thanks, Robbie. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to come on. If you're not around New York and you would want to see it later, the website's agirlcantouchthesky.com, and check in there, and we'll put the online screening later on.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
A girl can touch the sky.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Happy Nrisimha Chaturdashi.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Hairball. That was beautiful. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesh vabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Midatam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. From my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Yeah.
Reading
You
from
know,
Srimad
Raghunath,
Bhagavatam. Yeah.
I just realized I did collect some verses
Oh, did you?
glorifying Lord Nrisimha. We could read them. if
I
you'd
would
like
love
hear
to.
them.
I would love to hear them.
About
Actually,
7 verses, something like that, 6, 7 verses.
sure.
All right, because today's the day, huh?
Today's the day to celebrate Lord Nrisimha Dev. It's his appearance. There's so many different appearance days. Like in Christianity, you celebrate the appearance of Christ, who's the guru. So we also have that Guru Purnim, where we celebrate the gurus in our life, but all the different avatars of the Lord are also celebrated, and
Different
because there's
ways. Come on.
unlimited avatars, there's unlimited holidays. It's not just like you like holiday season. The whole year is a holiday season,
But
right?
this is a big one.
This is a big one because Nrisimha Dev is a big avatar, and it falls in the month of it's Chandan Yatra. So the Lord can be celebrated with Chandan every day for this month because it's the hot season right now in
What
India.
is Chandan?
Chandan's a sandalwood paste that they put all over the deity. So sometimes you'll see the Nrisimha Dev deity covered in this sandalwood paste,
Cool
which
him
is
down.
also very
He's hot.
festive. He's hot. He's hot. Okay,
Yeah,
so
y-
give us some
I
nectar.
remember earlier when we started entering these chapters, I read a little something from Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatamrita, where he doesn't go into detail so much about why, but he identified the form of the Nrisimha Avatar, the half man, half lion avatar, as being like one of the 3, right? There's Krishna, there's Ram, and then there's Nrisimha that are kind of like elevated to the like this
Oh, really?
status.
Okay.
Very important. And so there are so many Leela avatars, so many ways that so many forms Krishna takes. There's so many kinds of varieties of avatars, but the Leela avatars it's his play, it's his adventure, it's his adventures of love. Now there's many other purposes served through them, but ultimately they are his adventures of love. And this form was just so adbhuta, or just so wondrous, that this verse I was going to read speaks to that. Varaha Vamana Nrisimha Subhaga Misham. It says, I offer my obeisances unto the ocean of mercy of Hobala Nrisimha. This is from a set of prayers that are chanted in Hobala. You have never been there?
I've never been there. It's in South India.
We got to go there.
Let's go.
That's where they have the cave, right?
Yeah, where you got to like sort of like
You gotta
wade in through the water.
Yeah,
You got to really want to see the Lord. You got to wade in through.
And even in the like it's in a cave, right? And you're in that cave in the water, like up to your waist in the water, and that's how you take your darshan of this. And people that get married in there, like standing in the water in the cave.
Wedding dress.
Yeah.
So soaking wet.
So this is from a collection of prayers that are chanted there in that temple. I offer my obeisances unto the ocean of mercy, Ahobala Nrisimha. He is the all-fortunate Supreme Lord, Varaha, Vamana, and Nrisimha. His heart, I like this part, his heart is frolicking with his own playful pastimes. Right? That's what we're reading about right now. He's sitting there. He's like all angry still. He tore up that demon who was abusing his beloved devotee. But it's like his heart is is frolicking in the love that he's exchanging with Prahlad. You know? The most intelligent persons pray to him, the supreme soul, who fascinates the great sages. That form, it just fascinates them. I suppose the form itself, as well as its purpose and its what it shares and how it manifests and all that. Okay, here's another one. Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Nrisimha Deva, who is always enlightening Prahlad Maharaj within his heart, and who always kills the ignorance that attacks the devotees. This is helping us understand what to pray for, right? His mercy is distributed like the moonshine, and his face is like that of a lion. Let me offer my obeisances to him again and again. Now, moonshine here does not mean like a home distilled alcohol. The hillbillies make moonshine.
You got some
right?
moonshine, Mr. Kastuba?
His mercy is distributed like the moonshine.
The moon is famous for being cooling. So the
Cooling.
moonshine has a cooling effect.
Yeah. And
especially
I
in these-
suppose it spreads widely without discrimination. Like we were reading yesterday, right? Without partiality, the moon spreads its rays everywhere, right? So it's cooling, it's impartial. But he's in the heart, he's enlightening the heart of his devotee. And just as he kills viciously, effortlessly, dramatically, kills Hiranyakashipu, he's killing that ignorance in the heart of the devotees. This can be a prayer. You ever prayed like that, Raghunath? Dear Lord Nrisimha Deva,
Yeah.
please destroy the ignorance in my heart, in my mind, in my heart. Okay, this one. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Tejase Avir Bhava. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrisimha Deva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth that are just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish, here's similar prayer, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruit of activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. This is
I like that.
This is the consciousness, right? That we have to learn to develop this one pointed focus on the goal. This is my goal, and I need your mercy to achieve it. I want all of I don't want to try to relish the darkness that's in my heart, the ignorance, the attraction, the desires for things that are separate from God. I want actually to get all of that kicked out and wholeheartedly, full-heartedly dive in. And so these are prayers for that kind of, for help on that path.
Hey, I just want to butt in here. I
Please.
just had a meeting while you were talking with Mara. What I did was I muted myself so you couldn't see, and I sort of ventriloquist mouthed, like where I wasn't moving my lips, and says, "Hey, you want to do a Sweet Baby Krishna tonight?" And Mara's like, "Okay." So we're gonna do a Sweet Baby Krishna tonight. Maybe we do Sweet Baby Nrisimhadev.
I don't know if he appears as Bala Narasimha.
No, it's not Sweet Baby
Little cub.
Nrisimhadev, but basically we talk about maybe some Nrisimhadev Leela
Some
or something
Leelas.
like that.
Sounds
But
good.
when you were talking, it sort of reminded me, like, you know what, we should do something tonight.
What time will that be?
At 8 p.m. tonight for Patreon members.
Yeah.
We'll put it out there, and yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Exciting, Raghunath. Exciting. Here's another for you.
Please hit me.
Oh, this is a beautiful prayer that Prahlad prays. Similar to last chapter, it's interesting to see how Vyas composes the Bhagavatam. The last chapter, we brought different people from the universe into one spot, and they all prayed from their different angles of vision to Nrisimhadev. Yeah. Earlier in the Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto, we traveled throughout the universe, right? Along the path that the Ganga takes, from the top to the bottom, and we heard prayers to Lord Vishnu from all those different types of residents. So it's there's two examples of where we hear from different layers, different layers of consciousness from the different layers of beings and the different layers of the universe. So this was spoken by Prahlad in the 5th canto, offering prayers to Lord Nrisimhadev. May there be good fortune throughout the universe. This is one of those really auspicious, kind of when you want to invoke some auspiciousness, some good vibes. This is a good one. This is 5th canto, 18th chapter, text 9 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. May there be good fortune throughout the universe.
Yay.
And may all envious persons be pacified.
Okay.
May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga.
Mm.
For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thoughts of him. Nice.
This is great. I love the fact that we're at this part of the Bhagavatam today.
Yeah, me too. Okay, 2 more.
Please.
Oh, this is a sweet one, Raghunath. You're going to like this one, I think. Although very ferocious, the lioness is very kind to her cubs.
Sure.
Similarly, although very ferocious to non-devotees like Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrisimha Deva is very, very soft and kind to devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. And furry paw coming out, Raghunath.
It's like sometimes you see a guy who's got like a pet lion and they're just like petting the lion.
So, you ever see those videos where like someone sees the lion, like they help raise the lion and then they come and then they don't see it for like 10 years and they come back?
Lion comes back and they're wrestling with each
Yeah,
other.
the lion is standing on its hind legs and hugging it. And
then somebody else comes over and they're like,
okay, and then finally, this is a verse that the devotees chant even daily. Ito Nrisimha Parato Nrisimho Yato Yato Yam Itato Nrisimho Bahir Nrisimho Hridaye Nrisimho Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapadye.
He's
Lord
over there and he's in my heart.
He's also over there. Lord Nrisimha is here, he's also there. He's inside and he's outside as well. He's in my heart, he's outside as well. I surrender to Lord Nrisimha.
Shringham Adim Sharanam.
Sharanam Prapadye. Sharanam, I take shelter of him, the origin of all things and the supreme refuge. That's how we need to see. He's here, he's there. There's nowhere. He's in this pillar. Where is he not? He's in my heart, he's in your heart. Heart of every living being.
Interesting little side note. That prayer we chant in ISKCON temples, Prabhupada took that from 2 different prayers and put it together, and we made it into a song. It's a new thing. And Prabhupada, I think it was when Prabhupada was getting sick, and he asked the devotees to chant this. And one is from, I think, Jayadev Goswami, the second part.
That's that's the what is it? The Das Avatar Stotram.
Yeah.
Very beautiful when that's sung. Tava Kara Kamalavare.
And I think it was Vishnu John Swami came up with the music to that. I'm not positive.
No, that melody is sung all over India.
I'm not sure.
Sure. And then the first part, I actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, Raghunath, because I saw where that beginning of it came from, the first 2 verses that we sing, but I didn't note it down. But I remember looking at it yesterday and saying, "Oh, that's where that's from." Maybe I can go back and find it.
Well, Nityananda Chandra looked that up. Where is that from?
Where's that from?
Prayers that we sing. All right, let's dive into the Bhagavatam here, sir.
Okay.
We're in verse 28, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 28. This is Prahlad speaking. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, been there, done that, still doing it, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes.
We're talking about that the other day with scorpions, right?
Right. Tripping into a well. And I think I've mentioned this before, that I've known people
many times
in India who have fallen into wells because the grass grows over them and there's no like lip or rim around it in India. They just dig wells. The wells dry up and then people stop using them. The grasses grow over them and people are just walking through a field and all of a sudden,
people, if you dig a well, please build a little
board
rim.
it up. Build a rim.
Okay.
Come on. We got to think of everything. So people fall into wells, and if the well, it could be 100 years old.
Yeah.
And they fall into a well full of snakes. Following the how do you do that? Well, just following the general populace, right? It's insidious. The people make bad choices, and we move like sheep, really. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Did you ever see these like kids would do this? I never did this. I think this is nuts, but they get into a giant tire and push each other down a hill. Ever see people do that? It's ridiculous.
Maybe.
Yeah. The chief is like, yep, I have. Yeah, it's crazy. But it says this is what it's like for the living entity in samsara, meaning you're just spinning and spinning and spinning. And also, those things are bouncing over rocks and it's dangerous and you could crash into something. This is material existence. We're on this wheel rolling down a hill, lots of trouble ahead, and we're like helpless. You can't get out. And the guru comes over and sort of like gives it a kick and sort of like it gives you this access point out of that spinning tire and gives you the opportunity for freedom if you want to reach out. The guru is coming and extending their hand, and the guru comes in the form of humans, right? Comes in the form of pure devotees, comes in the disciples, and comes in the form of transcendental literature. But you have to want it. You have to also extend your hand outward. No matter how much the guru reaches in, you got to also reach out. And that's how we get out of this this wheel of disaster. This it's like a toilet bowl. It's just
Okay, we're throwing out all kind of metaphors, all kind of similes today. Tire, snake pit,
Tire's
toilet bowl, rolling wheel, and
how about a Vitamix? Spinning, spinning, chopping.
Yeah, but note an essential aspect of the heart, the mind, the heart of the bhakti yogi here is this attitude of gratitude, right? And we were speaking the other day about this idea of dasa anudasa, that I'm the servant of the servant. Prahlad is standing before Lord Vishnu, who appeared for his own as a favor unto him specifically, right? You with me?
Yeah, I am. I'm fidgeting with my new fidgeter that Maya gave me. It's like a thumb fidgeter, so I can concentrate.
So I wonder if it's helping or hurting.
Now I'm really concentrating on the fidgeter.
It's meant for preschoolers, I think.
Oh, it's meant for preschoolers. Okay.
You can still play with it.
But let's understand the context here. Vishnu appeared not just in general, but specifically for one individual here, for Prahlad. And Prahlad could easily say, thank you for appearing to me. May I always be connected to you like this directly. But he doesn't say that. In that moment, rather than thinking, because even that could make one feel like, I'm so great. God came for me. Even though the Devas here, he didn't come for. They all tried to settle him down. They all failed. They chose me to come before him. He came for me. And so rather than any drop of that egoistic pride manifesting in his heart, he's actually saying, Lord, to serve you, I want to serve your devotee Narada. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know anything. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't be receiving this mercy that you're showering upon me right now. So he says he kindly accepted me as a disciple. He instructed me how to achieve the position that I'm in right now. Therefore, and this is phrased in a very important way, my first duty, my primary duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Right? Not that I don't need his service anymore. I've already achieved the goal. No. Right? I serve him. It's a very instructive statement, and I think really important. I've always found this to be very important for the for the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Recognizing his contribution and feeling, what, my duty is to serve him. Without him, I don't know any of this stuff. Right?
Sure.
I'm clueless. If he didn't get on a boat, have a couple heart attacks, on a month-long journey, crossing over several oceans. And then, live pennilessly in New York, just trying to find a crack in all of this Western so-called civilization to deliver this message. If he wouldn't sacrifice in the way they did as an old man without any money, I wouldn't know anything of this. So my duty is to serve him. I think that's a very healthy attitude.
Yeah. Just to remember all the people that God has tagged to instruct us, to touch our hearts. It's a beautiful meditation. People have just come out of the woodwork to lift me higher. And it's sort of like some of them, it could say these people are pure devotees, and some of them there were not pure devotees whatsoever, but Krishna used them. Once we make a declaration like, I want God in my life, I want truth in my life, I want light in my life, I want to be more a spiritual person, watch the magic happen. Watch people get sent to you to bring you higher. And by just appreciating that, that's the beginning of our bhakti, that God uses people, and sometimes the most unlikely people, to lift us higher.
Okay, so now Prahlad's made this statement, and now he's going to kind of shift gears a bit here, Raghunath, in the next 8 verses or so. He's going to begin. Well, he kind of starts to enter it in this next text. Why don't we read the next text, and then we'll share what I was going to share.
Something happened to my screen. Hold on. Thank you, Mara. Text 29. Oh, my Lord, oh unlimited reservoir, right, of transcendental qualities. You have killed my father, Hiranyakashipu, and saved me from his sword. He had said very angrily, if there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. Okay. I shall now sever your head from your body, Unk. That's what he was thinking. Therefore, I think that both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just to prove true the words of your devotee, right? There is no other cause. So the verse, what's the verse from the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah.
Bhakti.
I can't think of it.
Pratijana hi
Janahi.
yamesa bhakta pranashyati.
Yeah.
The words of my devotees are, what is it?
That my devotee never
my devotees will
perishes.
never perish. Yeah, something I can't think right now.
So I thought interesting here, Raghunath, is the word used here is ananta, which means unlimited. Prabhupada translates it as unlimited reservoir of transcendental qualities. Because sometimes when people think of the supreme, the absolute truth, they think, oh, well, that is unlimited. But unlimited has no qualities. Unlimited means devoid of variation, devoid of qualities, just a divine,
energy.
Yeah, just a divine oneness, a divine energy. But Prabhupada's, I think it's in one sense it's this kind of poetic, instructional kind of license that he's engaging. But there's no doubt about it, because he's being called Ananta, he's being called unlimited, but he's there in a form that has a particular mane and a particular claws and particular teeth and particular eyes and so on. All these, the description of his qualities has been given. But he's also being called unlimited. So if he's unlimited, he's not an unlimited, just an unlimited, quality-less energy. He's an unlimited reservoir of transcendental qualities, which goes to the fundamental, theme, or, speaks to that fundamental question: is God a person? Okay, so now Raghunath, now Prahlad, just as this little boy, he's going to speak on a level that's so important, because all these sages like Prahlad and the sages that preceded him, they've always held that our existence isn't like an accidental byproduct that arises out of just this random interactions of dust and gas in this big void of space. But rather, they're saying, if we look into this, we've been talking a lot about science and stuff like that. If we look into nature, there's messages to discover there, and we can see that this is a finely tuned world. If we look at it without truly objectively, we can see that if we peer deeply into it enough, we can see it's finely tuned, and that there's a purpose to it, and that there's messages that we're meant to gain from it, that there's a designer behind it. There's like
there's intelligent design.
there's an intelligent design. There's an engineer that's operating it for a purpose. And so now for the next eight or nine verses, Prahlad's going to speak on that level. Here we find, where other spiritual traditions may share a lot of wisdom, here we get detailed accounts of how God works, how the universe works, that really speak to a lot of the fundamental philosophical questions that people are struggling with still today.
Okay, text 30. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation. For you existed before the creation, you exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external energy through actions and reactions. And reactions of the three gunas, or the three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally and internally is you alone.
Okay. There's so much in that, that there's a person behind it, that everything is his energy, and therefore everything is one in that sense. But at the same time, it's separated and transformed into all different kind of varieties. That by his power, he puts it through cycles of creation and annihilation, and he maintains it through all of that. He's saying, people have these questions, that philosophers have debated these questions forever, but he's speaking it, and it's being recorded here so that we have a guidebook as we pass through this universe. Right?
My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic manifestation, cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is certainly a type of illusion, a maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore non-different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is non-different from you, and the annihilation is also caused by you. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation.
The seed and the tree. Very interesting, huh? Again, so much here, that everything in the cosmos is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. But most people, when we manifest anything, like when you walk past that stone wall that you built, Raghunath,
Yes.
deep inside you, there's just a little bit saying that's my wall.
I did it. I created this thing. You didn't create nothing. You didn't create those rocks. You're a secondhand god.
That's right. The rocks were there long before you arrived. And even the ability to lift the rock is granted to you. The body with which you lift it, the intelligence that you engage in arranging it, it's all gifted to you.
We are not creators. We're manipulators.
So we tend to, as soon as we create anything, we begin to identify it with us and we become attached. Prahlad is saying everything, there's nothing that's not your energy, and at the same time you're aloof from it. Because, and on the deeper esoteric side, he's aloof from it because he's just concerned with divine love. That's what's absorbing his consciousness. But this aloofness speaks to who he is and what his nature is, what his absorption is. So he's saying, indeed, it's not different from you, but it's all yours. It's all yours, but at the same time, you're aloof. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. I guess the tree gives off a seed, and within that seed is everything for the next. It's such a fascinating. Lately I've been chanting. I go and I find a nice place in the park to sit and chant in the morning.
Yeah, tell me.
And it's fascinating. Like I was looking at one tree. There's one tree, it's massive. And whereas most of the trees are really green right now,
Right.
I don't know what kind of tree this is, but it
Oak. Oak.
I don't think it's an oak tree. That's yeah, that's
They're
one
very
possibility, I suppose.
they're very late to bloom to give leaves.
Well, no. Well, what this one does is early on it turns all dry and brown, and it pumps out all these seeds.
Hmm.
And the seeds are, they dry out, and they're these flat, kind of papery little circles, and inside that sits a little seed wrapped up in that dried little kind of papery circle. You know what I'm talking about? You know this one, Mara? You know that tree?
No, I don't think so.
I could find out because
Get
I
to the
got
bottom of this. Bust out
Yeah.
your picture of this app.
No, what I do
Plant
have is a map
identifier.
of every tree in Central Park, and it tells you exactly what kind of tree it is.
There's an app.
Wow.
We just have the app that gives us
Well, I don't have
identification.
the little seed with me, but it's fascinating to look at that inside, because it's translucent practically, that
Right.
that packaging, and in the center of it is a tiny little seed that is like a little computer chip,
Mm.
with a soul in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a work of art meets a magical scientific project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're trying to understand it externally. You can't figure that stuff out.
And then because it gets dry and flaky, when the breeze comes, it shoots these things out, and the air is full of them. Right? It's almost like raining these seeds, and the wind carries them, and then they land on the ground where they can take, or an animal comes and eats it.
Right.
Right.
And then
gives it a big chunk of fertilizer.
and then excretes it, and then it also becomes
it excretes it in a chunk of
fertile
fertilizer.
version of the same thing.
And so that animal can carry that. The wind can carry it to a distance. The animal can carry it to a distance.
It's a magical world.
It's a magical world, right? and so in one sense, the tree, that seed is the product of the tree. The tree gives it its body of the seed. It gives it the unlimitedly intricate computer code that it will need, the DNA and whatever it is that the tree has that will make it grow exactly as that tree will grow. And then it sends it off, like in one sense aloof, right? I assume that that's what's being said here by the example of the seed and the tree. Is Krishna, just like a tree gives off a seed and it has the ability to turn into something,
Sure.
that Krishna, that he's encoding everything. He's the master of the the computer coding and just creating all unlimited, mind-boggling varieties of life.
So cool. It's very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Text 32. Oh, my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation, the creative energy is kept in you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, huh? After the annihilation, meaning after this is all over, it's still there.
The universe
Krishna's still there. It's just like in its dormant form. It's like winter time. It's like, what happened to the tree? The tree died? No, it's dormant right now. And then it's going to birth in the spring. Who appear to sleep with half-closed eyes. It's in you, who appear to sleep with half-closed eyes. Actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being. For you are always in a transcendental stage beyond creation of this material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss. As Karana Dakshayi Vishnu, you thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects. Although you appear to sleep, the sleeping is distinct from sleeping in ignorance.
Oh, I mean, the theology that's presented in Bhagavatam is just fascinating, right? It's saying that because Prahlad he's offering a prayer to a manifestation of Vishnu, Lord Nrisimha, but he's saying, I know that you are that Maha Vishnu, that Karna Dakshay Vishnu, this form of Vishnu that is the soul of the entire universe, that lies down, in the universe, in the water of the universe, and from its pores come unlimited, or I shouldn't say universe, he's lying in the bubble of the material realm, and from his pores come unlimited universes, right? And those universes, they last for the lifetime of one Brahma.
Hmm.
Right? Do you know how many years that is?
100 years.
Well,
But
it's
in
100 of his
but
years,
in
but
Brahma years.
how many of our years is it? It's like some incalculable, I forget. Maybe Mary can look at that. How many years does Brahma live? I forget.
It's like the Fibonacci spiral. They live a whole lifetime, but it's gigantic.
Yeah.
It's like the lifetime of honeybee. It's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. But
a whole
even that,
lifetime.
like compared to our life, isn't even close. It's
Yeah. There.
You got it, Mary?
Brahma's lifespan is 311.04 trillion solar.
Okay. So that lifetime,
And we are in the 28th Kali Yuga of the 51st year of the current Brahma's life.
okay. So that lifetime, what was it? 300 and something trillion?
11.
311 trillion years. That is the life of the universe, right? It's breathed out and breathed back in. And then just like on an inhale, we inhale, we exhale, we inhale, it's held inside and then we exhale again. The universe sits there dormant inside the body of Vishnu, and then it's breathed out again, and it goes through another cycle, and Vishnu is there. Who is Vishnu? He's an expansion of sweet baby Krishna, little beautiful boy that's running around the forest, just engaged in adventures of love. We want the virtual reality. We want this external realm. He's like, I can produce that for you if that's your desire. I'm not going to get too involved. I'm going to lie there half asleep. My eyes are going to be kind of half closed, and I'm just going to breathe.
What kind of fantastic creation myth is this?
It's really
It's all
fascinating
coming
one.
from a blue cowherd boy?
So fascinating.
This is what you believe?
I do.
I do too.
Oh, people, yeah. So Lori Paxi found that's an
Why
elm.
not?
That's an elm tree seed
It's my
pod.
favorite tree, Mara, the European weeping elm.
Yeah, they found it. That's
They've
exactly.
got a
it.
lot of elm trees
in the Central Park.
Yeah. Was it a weeping elm?
I don't know if it was weeping or not. I wasn't close enough to hear.
Very
They
funny.
also
Very funny.
they also have the helicopter ones, right? Those ones.
It's the maple.
Are those maple?
Yeah.
They spin around.
They spin. You put them on your nose. You make nosies out of them.
Yeah. I think we're out of time, Raghunath.
Oh, man.
I'm going to head to the Bhakti Center this evening for the Yagna. I think at 5 p.m. Nrisimha Avatara. We'll do
Okay. 8 p.m. We're going to have a little
Munches.
Nrisimha Day reading here.
Yeah. I might be back for that, though, Raghunath. Let's see.
Okay. And Linda's going to be here tonight, too.
All right.
Planning a Maha pillow fight with her when she gets in the door.
You gonna chant some mantras?
I'm not going to.
Ugram Viram Mahavishnu.
We're just going to have a pillow fight. That's all. You can see the pillow fight if you tune in at 8. No, just kidding. We're having Sweet Baby Krishna and Nrisimha Day tonight, 8 p.m. for Patreon members.
All right. You
Okay.
ready?
Our takeaways, Miss Mara, please.
Are our attempts to maintain culture helping or hurting?
They are.
Yeah.
It's boring. Okay. No, I mean, it's good. It's important, but it's boring.
Let Nrisimha kill our ignorance and vanquish desires.
Yeah. Please vanquish my material desires.
Develop one-pointed focus on the real goal.
Focus.
Material existence is being on a spinning tire downhill.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that analogy.
Is the tire on fire too?
Yeah, tires on fire
And it's rolling down the
with
hill.
desires.
And it's rolling down the hill towards a pit of snakes.
And then it goes through a cold plunge and freezes you while you're burning.
Well, the cold plunge would be good if you're in a burning tire. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone would be happy for that cold plunge.
You're right. Okay.
You have to reach out for the guru to get out of the toilet bowl.
Yeah, you got to reach out.
Oh, the mixed metaphors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let our first duty be to serve the servants.
It is a toilet bowl is a good analogy for the material because you're like spinning, exhausting, feeling nauseous, and then the guru reaches into the hell. It's just like you reach out of hell, and you got to grab that wrist
Just
Okay,
before you
go.
go down.
before you get sucked down to the septic system.
Remember all the people God has tagged to uplift us.
Tag, you're it.
Make a declaration to connect to the divine and watch magic happen.
I do declare, Mr. Kastuba.
You've been saying that lately, Robin. And then watch the magic happen.
Watch the magic happen. It's real. It's a magical universe, Kastuba. Trees live inside little pods.
Oh man, it's like a little computer chip, and it's just floating all. And there's thousands and thousands of them floating in the air.
You better have done
It's
this.
crazy.
Okay, go on.
Then what?
Go. What do you got?
We are not creators. We are manipulators.
Mhm.
We're not creators. We're manipulators.
The material world is just a big spinning tire toilet bowl Vitamix.
Vitamix.
What was the
Vitamix
song?
Vitamix is a good one because it chops you as well. It spins you, exhausts you, nauseates you, and chops you.
Watch
the
the
material
painted
world.
pony. Watch the spinning wheel turn, or something like
Oh,
that.
I
Right?
wonder if that's what that means. Ride the painted pony.
Ride the painted pony. That's
Oh wait, isn't painted pony like a drug?
not that I know of.
You got the painted pony.
The
You doing
painted
painted
the
pony
spinning
tonight?
wheel.
Who knows what that means? Look it up
That would
quick.
help. That was Earth, Wind, and Fire. No, not Earth, Wind.
No.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
See how you get those mixed up?
You can get
It's one of those three.
names. It was Mo, Larry, and Curly. Okay.
And
And
it's a magical world.
it's a magical world. It's a magical universe, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Ride the
Make-
painted
make-
pony. Robin.
Make sure to check out the film. What is it? A girl
Our girl can touch the
tou-
sky.
can touch the sky.
Can touch this guy. Along with
And-
Jimi Hendrix. Excuse the girl while she touches the sky.
That's a Jimi Hendrix song?
Oh, Robin.
No,
Even
Jimi
Mara's like,
Hendrix,
come on,
man.
everybody knows it.
Wasn't into rock and roll. Yeah, so check that on the 22nd in New York City. Also, tonight, Sweet Baby Krishna at 8 o'clock for Patreon members. And something important I was going to say. Happy Nrisimha Chaturdashi. Do a little extra something. If you can't do Sweet Baby Krishna, spend a little time reading about Lord Nrisimha. Oh, you want to join us live here? Some people, you hear that we're talking to people other than me, Mara, and Kastuba. That's because there's a live group here on Zoom. So if you want to join us on Zoom, email Mara at wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. Woo! Me and Kastuba are taking a group to Jagannath Puri, Udaipur, Nathdwar, Rishikesh, Vrindavan. It's all happening in this autumn. Go to raghunath.yoga to check that out. Really excited about that.